Hey everybody, welcome to my latest Stories in a Song video here on YouTube. Well, as David Letterman used to say, well kids, do you like that rock and roll? That's what I got here today, big time. A song called Ramble On by Led Zeppelin from 1969, co-written by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. Well, this is a bit of a departure for me, but hey, I'm doing it. This is my first Led Zeppelin song on my YouTube playlist, my karaoke songs, and my 291st video on there in total. There is no Carafun karaoke version of Ramble On available because the rights holders of the song won't allow it, so I'm using a YouTube karaoke video from a channel called CC Karaoke. This is a song that I probably first heard on the Stingray Classic Rock TV channel sometime in the last 20 years, probably. I wasn't real big on the rock and roll back, well, some of it I was, but Led Zeppelin, I never really got into them until I was older. So it doesn't go back to when I was a kid or anything like that, but the thing that has always stuck with me about this song is the chorus and Robert Plant's amazing voice. When I was brainstorming this list of songs that shaped my musical tastes, which ended up consisting of 58 songs, that's this list here that I just started making videos on not too long ago. This is only the third song on the list. I've done one already in the past called Signs by Five Man Electrical Band, but there's still about 55 more songs after this one that I got left to do on it, plus a whole bunch more that I added to it after the original list was made, so it's not going to end anytime soon. But I put this song on that list mostly because I wanted to try singing it sometime, and I never had been able to at Dooley's anywhere, karaoke that I've done anywhere, so. And I often say a variation on the second line of the chorus of this song, where it says, "Now is the time and the time is now." Well, that's what I say to myself whenever I am about to embark on doing something that I know is going to cause me anxiety, but I know it has to be done. Saying that line to myself helps me to lessen the anxious feeling and tackle the difficult tasks, such as carrying on a random conversation with people in public. Beyond that, there really isn't a lot else I can say as far as to why I like this song. Just that I love Plant's voice and the contrast between the quietness of the verses opposed to the intensity of the choruses. And selfishly, I've just always wanted to find out if I can make my voice do the kinds of things that Plant's voice does on this song. We'll soon find out. The song's lyrics were influenced by J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy novel, The Lord of the Rings. The song's genre has variously been described as folk rock, hard rock, and blues rock by different critics. The lyrics were mainly written by Plant. Page explained that he achieved the smooth, sustaining violin-like tone on the solo by using the neck pickup on his Gibson Les Paul guitar with the treble cut and utilizing a sustain-producing effects unit built by the audio engineer Roger Mayer. The song's lyrics, particularly in the first line and the third verse, were influenced by J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, mentioning, among other things, quote, the darkest depths of Mordor, Gollum and the Evil One, or Sauron. Its first line, "Leaves are falling all around," is an adaptation of Tolkien's like gold fall the leaves in the wind, unquote. The English translation of the first line of his Quenya, Elvish language poem, Namaria. I think that's how you pronounce that. The musicologist Caitlin Vaughn, Carlos, suggests that in the song's references to The Lord of the Rings, Led Zeppelin was relying on its audience's cultural memory, quote, to actively participate in a dialogue of urban criticism and a romanticized vision of rural Britain, unquote. Andy Green, writing in Rolling Stone, commented that, quote, the narrator of Led Zeppelin's 1969 classic Ramble On finds himself in a very bizarre version of Middle Earth, a land where Mordor appears to be a great place to meet beautiful women, and Gollum and Sauron are more interested in fighting over the narrator's girlfriend than getting their hands on the One Ring, unquote. Now here's some information about Ramble On's co-writers, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. I'll have more to say about them and the other members of Led Zeppelin in the artist bio section later. Co-writer Page has written or co-written 82 songs that have been released by more than one artist, including Ramble On from She Just Satisfies, originally by Jimmy Page himself in 1965, to Please Read the Letter, originally by Robert Plant and Jimmy Page in 1998. 56 of the 82 songs were co-written with Plant, and 60 of the 82 were originally by Led Zeppelin. Page's most covered song is Stairway to Heaven, originally by Led Zeppelin on November 8, 1971, which has been covered by 205 different artists. Ramble On is Page's 7th most covered song, having been covered by 44 different artists. I'll have more to say about the cover versions later. Page has also written or co-written 12 adapted songs, which have been covered, 10 of those with Plant. 10 of the 12 were originally by Led Zeppelin. The most covered of the 12 is Whole Lotta Love, from the original You Need Love by Led Zeppelin, which has been covered by 142 different artists. Co-writer Plant has co-written 72 songs that have been released by more than one artist, including Ramble On, from Communication Breakdown, originally by Led Zeppelin, on January 12, 1969, to The May Queen, originally by Plant himself on October 13, 2017. 69 of the 72 were originally by Led Zeppelin. Plant's most covered song is the aforementioned Stairway to Heaven. As with Page, Ramble On is Plant's 7th most covered song. Plant has also co-written 11 adapted songs, which have been covered, 9 of those with Page. 9 of the 11 were originally by Led Zeppelin. The most covered of the 11 is the aforementioned Whole Lotta Love. Ramble On is my first song written by either Page or Plant on YouTube. And now here's some information about the original recording and release of Ramble On. Led Zeppelin made the original recording in Groove Studios, New York City, on June 1st, 1969, and Juggy Sound Studio on June 2nd, produced by Jimmy Page. It featured Robert Plant on vocals, Page on electric and acoustic guitars, John Paul Jones on bass, and John Bonham on drums and percussion. The song was not released as a vinyl single in the US or the UK in the 20th century, but the song came out with the release of Led Zeppelin's second studio album, Led Zeppelin II, on Atlantic Records on October 22, 1969. The original US first pressings feature Robert Ludwig's hot mastering on both sides. These were withdrawn early because the high bass levels caused low-grade cartridges to miss track, leading people to return the album in the belief that it was defective. Another engineer was then hired to recut a much less hot version of the album, and that is the far more common version. Ramble On serves as the 7th track on the album. The album reached number 1 in both the US and the UK, and over 12 million copies have been sold. A single was released in Turkey in 1970, with Ramble On as the B-side to Whole Lotta Love. When it was eventually released as a digital single, it reached number 66 on the Billboard Canadian Digital Song Sales Chart in 2007. Critics have admired the combination of the vocals and the guitar playing on the song. In his book, Led Zeppelin, A Celebration, Dave Lewis wrote that, quote, Ramble On was the highlight of the Led Zeppelin II album, slipping effortlessly from quiet, mournful passages into an uplifting chorus, unquote, and demonstrating the, quote, light and shade dynamism, unquote, that became a hallmark of the band. Martin Popoff, in his book, Led Zeppelin, All the Albums, All the Songs, commented that while the song starts off with a nod to, quote, idyllic West Coast acoustic rock, unquote, with Plant playing the romantic troubadour, its location is seen to be the dark land of Mordor in Middle-earth, though with un-Tolkien-esque events. Popoff calls it, quote, a strange reference, but notes that the music backs it up with the near-Renaissance feel, quote-unquote, of Page's guitar playing in the key of E major. On American songwriter Jacob Uwitty agreed that Page's acoustic guitar is stirring and Plant's vocals are electrifying, but emphasized that John Paul Jones's less noticed bass playing is sublime. Uwitty called the song, quote, one of the band's best, quote, because of its dual-pronged sonic attack. In 2010, the song was ranked number 440 on the list of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time. In 2019, Rolling Stone ranked the song number 5 on its list of 40 greatest Led Zeppelin songs. As far as live performances go, Ramble On was only played as a tease during Led Zeppelin's 20th century concerts, but never as a complete song. The full song was first performed live at the Ahmet Ertegun tribute concert on December 10th, 2007, at the O2 Arena in London. Page ended the song with a brief section of the bridge from What Is and What Should Never Be. The song has been certified silver in the UK for sales and streaming of over 200,000 units. Now here's some information about the cover versions of Ramble On. 46 cover versions of Ramble On have been released to date. It's interesting that the first cover version didn't appear until 1992, more than 20 years after the original. 35 of the 46 covers are in English, 11 are instrumentals, and one is in English under the title Lamentations Song, written by J. John Jackson, performed by Apologetics, released in March 2020. Of the 35 English versions, I am familiar with only 5 of the artists who have covered it, and one of those did it twice, so you might say I'm only familiar with 4. A few of the cover artists who appear to be Led Zeppelin tribute bands, with names like Dread Zeppelin, Led Zepp Again, and Zepparella. Some of the Ramble On cover versions are, first by American glam metal and hard rock band from Los Angeles, Great White, in 1999, on their Deadline music album, Great Zeppelin, a tribute to Led Zeppelin. Second, by American rock band from San Francisco, California, Train, in November 2003, a live recording and a medley with Whole Lotta Love and Walk on the Wild Side. Walk on the Wild Side, the song I did a video of quite a while ago, the Lou Reed version. That was on their Columbia, Australia album, My Private Nation, on Australian tour edition of the album, with a bonus disc recorded live at the Tabernacle in Atlanta, Georgia. Third, by American psychedelic and hard rock band Vanilla Fudge, on June 8, 2007. Who knew Vanilla Fudge was even around that long? On their Escapee music tribute album to Led Zeppelin, Out Through the Indoor. This is rated the 3rd best version on secondhandsongs.com. Fourth, by American singer and guitarist Rick Derringer, American guitar, keyboards, and bass player for Yes, Billy Sherwood, and UK drummer for Yes and various other acts, Alan White, in February 2008 on the Various Artists Pepper Cake album, the ultimate tribute to Led Zeppelin. Derringer is a part of that trio that I am familiar with. This is rated the 4th best version. Derringer released a solo version of Ramble On a month earlier, an instrumental on the Various Artists Purple Pyramid tribute album to Led Zeppelin, Guitar Heroes, Led Zeppelin instrumental renditions. And 5th by Train Again, this time on June 3rd, 2016, on their Crush music tribute album to Led Zeppelin, Train Does Led Zeppelin II. 5 other cover versions by artists I am not familiar with are by American Led Zeppelin tribute band in a reggae style, Dread Zeppelin in 1992 on their IRS Records album It's Not Unusual, by the Dusty Diamonds in 1993 on the Various Artists Safe House tribute album to Led Zeppelin. The song retains the name too. There was no information on the site about the Dusty Diamonds as far as where they came from or what kind of music they played. Then by UK rock band the Jason Bonham Band on April 1st, 1997 on their MJJ Music tribute album to Led Zeppelin, In the Name of My Father, the Zepp Set, live from Electric Ladyland. Jason is the son of Led Zeppelin drummer John Bonham. By American Austin, Texas singer-songwriter Lisa Tingle in 2000 on her self-released album Live at the Lucky Unplugged. And by American all-male comedy a cappella group at the University of Pennsylvania, Pen 6, in 2000 on their self-released album Elixir. This is rated the 5th best version. There are 25 more English cover versions of Ramble On. Now here's some biographical information about Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin were an English hard rock band formed in London in 1968. The band comprised Robert Plant on vocals, born Robert Anthony Plant on August 20th, 1948. He is now 76. Born in West Bromwich, Staffordshire, England. Jimmy Page on guitar. Born James Patrick Page on January 9th, 1944. Born the same day as Crystal Gale, my personal favorite girl singer of all time. I have to get a reference to Crystal in every video I possibly can. Sorry about that. Page is now 81, and he is from Heston, Middlesex, England. John Paul Jones on bass and keyboards, born John Baldwin on January 3rd, 1946. He's age 79 now. Born in Sidcup, Kent, England. And John Bonham on drums, born John Henry Bonham on May 31st, 1948 in Redditch, Worcestershire, England, and died suddenly of asphyxiation following a day of heavy drinking on September 25th, 1980, aged 32, in Clewer, Berkshire, England. With a heavy guitar-driven sound and drawing from influences including blues and folk music, Led Zeppelin are cited as a progenitor of hard rock and heavy metal. They significantly influenced the music industry, particularly in the development of album-oriented rock and stadium rock. Led Zeppelin evolved from a previous band, the Yardbirds. I'm going to have a song by a little later in this list here that I showed you earlier up on YouTube. But Led Zeppelin were originally named the New Yardbirds. Page had been in the Yardbirds from 1966 to 68. Plant and Bonham had been in a group called Band of Joy. They signed a deal with Atlantic Records that gave them considerable artistic freedom. Initially unpopular with critics, they achieved significant commercial success with 8 studio albums over 10 years. Their 1969 debut, Led Zeppelin, was a top 10 album in several countries and features such tracks as Good Times, Bad Times, Dazed and Confused, and Communication Breakdown. Led Zeppelin II, from 1969, their first #1 album, includes Whole Lotta Love and Ramble On. In 1970, they released Led Zeppelin III, which opens with Immigrant Song. Their untitled 4th album, commonly known as Led Zeppelin IV, from 1971, is one of the best-selling albums in history with 37 million copies sold. It includes Black Dog, Rock and Roll, and Stairway to Heaven, with the latter being among the most popular and influential works in rock. Houses of the Holy from 1973 includes The Song Remains the Same and Over the Hills and Far Away. The group formed their own Swan Song label in 1974. Physical Graffiti from 1975, a double album, features Trampled Underfoot and Kashmir. The band was in a concert movie, The Song Remains the Same, in 1976. Page composed most of Led Zeppelin's music, while Plant wrote most of the lyrics. Jones occasionally contributed keyboard-focused parts, particularly on the band's final album. The latter half of their career saw a series of record-breaking tours that earned the group a reputation for excess and debauchery. Although they remained commercially and critically successful, their touring and output, which included Presence from 1976 and In Through the Outdoor from 1979, declined in the late 1970s. After Bonham's death in 1980, the group disbanded in December of that year. The former members have sporadically collaborated. Plant and Page formed the Honey Drippers in 1984. Page was also with The Firm from 1984 to 86. The former members have participated in one-off concerts, including the 2007 Ahmet Ertegun tribute concert in London, with Bonham's son Jason Bonham on drums. Jason formed the group Bonham in 1989. Interestingly, Stairway to Heaven was never released as a commercial single. Led Zeppelin are one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with estimated record sales of between 200 and 300 million units worldwide. They achieved 8 consecutive UK #1 albums and 6 #1 albums on the US Billboard 200, with 5 of their albums certified diamond in the US by the Recording Industry Association of America. Rolling Stone described them as, quote, the heaviest band of all time, the biggest band of the 70s, and unquestionably one of the most enduring bands in rock history. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. The museum's biography states that they were, quote, as influential in the 1970s as the Beatles were in the 1960s. And now here's some information about Led Zeppelin's recording history and discography. A total of 326 records have been released worldwide on Led Zeppelin between 1969 and 2020. They recorded for the Atlantic and Swan Song labels. Their discography consists of 9 studio albums, 4 live albums, 10 compilation albums, 19 singles, 4 video albums, 16 music videos, 3 charted songs, and 9 music downloads. And now I'm going to sing Ramble On, or try. Wish me luck, this is going to be a challenge, but I'm going to try. Alright. So here we go, Ramble On, Led Zeppelin. Alright. This is one of those songs that, oh boy, I've been dreading for a while, but the only way to get it out of your system is to get her done. Porter Wagner said there's something in you that's got to come out, and sometimes it's just got to come out. He was talking about yodeling, but there's no yodeling in this song, I'll tell you that. All right. So we got a karaoke version of this off of YouTube. And here we go with Ramble On by Led Zeppelin from 1969, written by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. Ooh boy. The leaves are falling all around. Time I was on my way. Thanks to you, I'm much obliged for such a pleasant stay. But now it's time for me to go. The autumn moon lights my way. For now I smell the rain, and with it pain, and it's headed my way. Sometimes I grow so tired, but I know I've got one thing I got to do, run along. And now's the time is now to sing my song. I'm going around the world, I gotta find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years to the day, ramble on. Gotta find the queen of all my dreams. Got no time for spreading roots. The time has come to be gone. And though our health we drank 1,000 times, it's time to ramble on. And now's the time is now to sing my song. I'm going around the world, I gotta find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years to the day, I gotta ramble on. I gotta find the queen of all my dreams. I ain't telling no lie. Mine's a tale that can't be told. My freedom I hold dear. How years ago, in days of old, when magic filled the air, 'twas in the darkest depths of mortar I met a girl so fair. But Callum and the evil one crept up and slept away with her. Her, yeah. Ain't nothing I can do, no. I guess I gotta keep rambling on. I'm gonna sing my song. Sing my song. I gotta ramble on. I gotta ramble on, sing my song, gotta work my way around the world, ramble on. Do, 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 my baby. I gotta keep searching for my baby. I gotta keep searching for my baby. Woo boy. There's a whole lot of other lyrics at the end of this thing that I wrote down, but it doesn't have it on this here karaoke version, so that's gonna be it right there. Well, I did my best, I tried. Got a little sidetracked and screwed up there towards the end, but hey, it's all for fun, and I sure had a lot of fun singing that song, trying it to see how I would do. I never knew how it was gonna go until I actually did it, so It's not one of those ones you can pretty much go over and over and practice a lot, because pretty soon you're going to have people beating your door down saying, what in the heck are you doing in there, boy? But anyways, we got her done, so got that out of my system. And for my next video, which is coming up on Monday, well, I'm going to start working on it on Monday anyway. It won't be posted on Monday, but I'll start working at it on Monday. And it is another old rock and roll song by a British band. Some say it was supposed to be the successor to the Beatles when they broke up, and this band came along. A band called Badfinger, and a song called Come and Get It. Just another song that I've liked for a long time and always wanted to try and never had the chance to, so next video I'm going to do it. Alright guys, thanks for watching and listening, and hope you didn't throw too many things at the screen while you were watching that last one there. Have a good day. Bye now.